Good morning. Thank you for joining. We're going to get started momentarily. I'm just waiting for a few more parents to join in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Ryan's parent.
Yes. Hi. Good morning. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'm just waiting for a few more parents to join in. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hello. We're going to start momentarily. I'm just waiting for more parents to pop in. I know we just sent out the call out, so a lot of folks are starting to pop in.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, thank you. We'll start soon. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for joining. We're going to start momentarily. I'm just giving some other parents an opportunity to get in before we get started, but I appreciate you all for being here. Good morning. Thank you for joining. We're going to begin momentarily. Thank you all for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Smith.
Good morning. How are you? Thank you for joining in.
Good, thank you.
We're going to start. I see the alerts. Parents are joining us, so I just want to give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and begin. I want to honor your time, so I'm not going to keep you all long this morning, but I just wanted to go over some important testing information with you all. Okay, the time is now 10:05. I'm going to go ahead and begin. I want to thank you all for joining in this morning. We tried to switch it up a little bit and do something different for parents. And so we thought that maybe having a FSA EOC coffee talk this morning where you all grab your cup of joe, join me, and we'll just have some discussions about the upcoming assessments and ways that you as parents can help support your child at home in preparation for their tests. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. My name is Rhonda Smith. I am one of the assistant principals here at JFK Middle School. I'm the 6th grade assistant principal and the AP that's over Title I. So today I will be informing you all about the FSA EOC assessments, and then, like I stated before, ways that you can support your child at home. I am going to ask that if you do have questions that we hold them to the end, as we will go over any questions that you have regarding testing and anything that you might be inquiring about if you would like for your child to come back on campus, what that would entail. So the FSA, so which tests are administered at the middle school level? So with 6th and 7th grade, they all have to take an ELA writing, a reading, and mathematics test. Now, when they get into 7th and 8th grade, some of our students oftentimes take accelerated math courses, and if your child is either in Algebra 1 or in geometry, and they also have to take those assessments. We call those EOCs because they're at the high school level, and those are end of course exams. 7th grade in particular has to take a civics EOC, and science, they're tested in 8th grade on science. So 6th grade, we just have the ELA and writing component along with math. 7th grade, they have the ELA writing, reading, math, and civics. And 8th grade, they take the ELA writing, reading, mathematics, and science. Just so you're aware, the ELA writing and reading are composite scores, which means that they take both of them and they combine them together to determine what level the student is based on their grade level and the learning gains that they've made from one year to the next. All right. FSA writing was just administered this week. So thank you all if you had your children attend school. If they were virtual, you brought them in. If not, I do want to go ahead and let you know that if you missed the FSA writing, your child missed it, that we are having makeups. I will be here tomorrow from 9 to 12. You can drop them off. We are practicing social distancing and CDC requirements of making sure that the areas are wiped down. So I can assure you that it will be a safe testing environment. The testing is administered from 9 to 12, but the test itself is only 2 hours. As you can see, 6th and 7th and 8th grade students, they only sit for one session for writing, and it's 120 minutes with a 10-minute break in between. So if they did not take it this week, they do have the option of coming in to on campus tomorrow from 9 to 12 to make up that assessment. If you all missed that, they do have some days during the week in which students can come in and be assessed as well. I was very proud of our students this week. Many of them showed, of course, we can't look at the actual writing samples, but I did get a chance to look at their planning sheets. And as soon as they got them, they began writing. So it looks like we were able to capture some real true data as far as their capability with regards to writing. So I'm just hoping that our students continue on with that same stamina as they take the reading, mathematics, science, and civics portions of their tests. The FSA reading is now a 2-day session, and it's 85 minutes each session. And so that assesses students in reading comprehension, where they're given a series of passages with questions that they will need to answer. And that's for both 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Later on in this presentation, I will be going over dates, and then you all can take a screenshot of those and maybe just keep them handy just so that you know when those tests will be offered. But again, this is a two-day session, 85 minutes each session. For any of our English language learners, all ELLs participate in our statewide assessments. So ELLs that have been enrolled in our school, they will be taking the assessment if they have at least been with us for a year. And then they will be assessed at their grade level, or at their enrolled grade level. So for a student who's just coming into the States and they're just now enrolling into school based on their age, they will be placed into the appropriate grade level and assessed at that particular grade level. Okay, so as parents, we always want to know, okay, we understand that our children have these assessments, but how is it that we're able to best assist them and prepare them for taking the test? So prior to administering each computer-based assessment, test administrators conduct a practice test that contains sample test items. So before we even give the kids the test, we kind of do a dry run where we have them log into the FSA portal and they are able to answer a couple of questions, and we just make sure that the system is up and running and ready for the students on the day of testing. But students can also go into the FSA portal and they can also take practice tests I highly recommend this because the question types that are on that practice test are the same thing that they would see when they go in to take the actual assessment. And anyone has access to it. It's the FSA portal. And as you can see, there's a QRL code. So if you all want to scan that, you can. Or if you want to take a picture of it now and then go back later, that's totally fine. This presentation will be placed on our school website. So if you ever want to go back in later to take a look at any of this information, it will be available for you. And so this also brings me to my next point. For sixth grade and sixth grade only, sixth grade students assess on paper-based, whereas seventh and eighth grade students, they assess on the computer. So sixth grade students will get a paper pencil test, whereas the seventh and eighth grade students have to utilize their computers. So what parents and families can do to be able to support their students and what works best. Okay, so one of the main things that we can do as parents to best prepare our students is to stay involved, informed, and engaged, which is what you all are doing by just being here this morning, getting to understand the ins and outs of what it is that the students are going to be asked to do and perform when facing the test. Reading with your child for 30 minutes or having them read for 30 minutes and summarize what they read is essential. That's part of the reading comprehension. That's part of building fluency. It's part of building vocabulary with our students. Vocabulary, oftentimes, and stamina are what keep our students from being as successful as we know they can be, meaning that they get passages and they can't withstand it. It's too much text at one time. Those are some of the things that the teachers have been working on with students inside their classrooms so that they can chunk and break down the text, marking the text, being able to extrapolate important information embedded within the text, and being able to go through a process of summarizing their reading. And then when they get the questions, decoding the question, really understanding what they're asking them to go in and find. What are they asking of them? So those are things that can be done with students and assisting them with being able to read every night. Reviewing and discussing homework. Believe it or not, and I know sometimes the kids will say, I don't have homework. The teacher didn't assign me anything. The students always have homework. They have iReady, which they are asked to do 45 minutes to an hour each week, which is not a lot of time, but it's enough time for us to reinforce skills with them. They also utilize Study Island and math, and they also use it in civics and social studies. Those are great resources and tools for them to have that time to be able to, like I stated before, reinforce those same skills. Establishing a daily routine for homework. I do know that we still do have a lot of students who are home. They're working remotely. They're virtual students. And so oftentimes what I've expressed to families is that keeping a quiet place designated just for academics. Because when your school and home start to blend for students, sometimes they can't differentiate. And so really finding a location in your home that's quiet, that's their sacred place just for academics is key and important. And then putting them on a routine. So saying, okay, so you are in school now from 9:30 to 4:05. Giving them that break time to just kind of divest and leave the technology piece alone, and then following them back up with like 45 minutes of before dinner, 45 minutes of homework and or having them go on their adaptive technology to reinforce what they learned that day is key. And then, allowing them to be able to step away from that space. Even as adults, I remember when we were initially working from home, establishing the fact that you want to not set up your workspace inside of your bedroom because, then your body doesn't understand, like when you're in your bedroom, it's time to go to sleep. It's the same notion for students, they can't learn the way we need them to adequately if they are learning in their bed, but then they're still sleeping in their bed, So just really creating that routine, that concise routine. And obviously for the students who are back on campus and they're brick and mortar, no worry, Miss Heath, no worry. just allowing them that opportunity and that space to, okay, after you leave school, you come back home, you do something, maybe an activity, whether it be like go outside and play for a little bit, but then they come back in, they do the work, and then they move on with the rest of their evening. Modeling value for learning and hard work. You know, I know as parents, we work, you know, either all throughout the day or sometimes even in the evening, but making sure that they understand that education is a priority in the home, and that it does come first for them, you know, as students, as children, that this is an important piece that they can't miss. And of course, express expectations for achievement. The best thing that I think that we can do right now during these unprecedented times and these challenging times is really encouraging our students and letting them know that things are okay. I know they're different, but they're okay. And reinforcing the expectations for achievement. So even though we're in the midst of a pandemic and things have happened to loved ones, things have happened to us, but we're still encouraging them to still be successful with their schooling. And then, of course, encouraging the reading and writing at home, and then incentivizing. So, you know, as parents, we incentivize all the time, unbeknownst to us. We allow them to have cell phones, we give them games, you know, we let them go out and they can, you know, go hang out with friends. Those are incentives that we provide our children. And so, you know, if it's a reward by making them their favorite dinner, or maybe purchasing their favorite ice cream, you know, just letting them know that a little goes a long way and that you see them and you see the progress that they're making. That goes, we incentivize here at school, often by way of extra credit points, and or we have a school store with candy and they're able to go in and get rewarded that way. We also have a Viking shop with lots of fun little gadgets that we praise them for making huge strides and gains with their learning. So that is something that can be done with you at home with your child as well. Okay, so then the next thing, I don't know if my computer's, give me 1 second. Did I freeze? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. My presentation, I guess the computer's not talking to one another. All right. So some of the helpful resources that we can use and that can be utilized. Definitely, if you can, take a screenshot of this. These are some resources that are available at your fingertips through the Florida Department of Education that you can use at home with your children. The FloridaDOE.org has their official website. And as you can see, FloridaStudent.org, they have student tutorials. These are like little mini videos that kind of lay out some of those standards for the kids, and it models them through the process of either solving a problem or, like I said, decoding the text. And so it's really great. They're little mini snippets of instruction tutorials that the kids can have. I know personally for me, with my young one, math is always a challenge for me. And I notice that the older that he becomes, the more difficult it is for me to be able to assist him with it. And so being able to have resources that allow you to have those mini tutorials. So even if I can't explain to them or him, my son, how to solve a problem, at least there's a tutorial that can. So that's a really great resource that I really implore you all to check out. Just Read Florida, that's a literacy resource. Again, building fluency, vocabulary, and of course, building stamina. And that's the primary reason why we want them to read at least 30 minutes a day. And then, of course, FloridaStandards.org. And those are things that you all can sift through to see which ones you like. But have them sit on it. Even on the weekends, they have to dedicate some time, at least even over the weekend, 45 minutes a day at this point, because we're in that long stretch towards their studies. And it's not that they're not getting a break, because they can do it by way of reading, you know, a novel that they are enjoying, or just simply going on study island to be able to do math practice. either way, it's still being absorbed. So those are some of the things that you all as parents, some resources that you have at your fingertips that you can utilize at home with your children. So promoting success by staying involved in your child's education. That's what you all are doing this morning by being here, staying connected. I can't tell you, especially right now with some of the students being off campus and working remotely from home, virtually, that keeping a close connection with your child's teachers, communicating with them often, checking SIS. The SIS portal is there for you as parents to be able to go in and monitor your child's progress, and asking them questions on the daily. How was school? How were you doing in, so-and-so's class? Know the teacher by name so that you can prompt them so that they understand, like, I'm watching you. I know that you're home and that we're working virtually from home, but my expectation is that you're still going to maintain your studies. Speaking with the guidance counselor, I know in 6th grade, myself and Miss Bolden, we tag team our students. We look to make sure that the students are not failing. If so, contacting teachers to make sure that they're reaching out to you. And we do that in all of our grade levels. Our main thing is making sure that you're in the know so that you can help in this process of making sure that we're adequately supporting your children, whether it be brick and mortar, them here being in our building, or at home, because they're still our babies. So our next slide. So helping our students to hit the test out of the park. So just some things that I want you all to take in consideration. Making sure your child has a healthy breakfast. And we provide breakfast here at school. But I have to tell you, if you are able to do something special on testing day with your child, whether it be to make, some scrambled eggs and bacon and toast, or even boiled eggs, just something that will be a hearty breakfast for them, it makes all the difference. Oftentimes we test from 9 to, and we don't finish until noon. And this week in particular, lunches get rearranged. And so you want to make sure that they're not sitting at the table testing while their stomachs are growling. And so we all know that that changes a child's mood if they are, if they have a full stomach, and that means that they're able to come in and they're able to focus and they're ready to go and give the test everything that they have. And it just makes them all around healthier children. Making sure your students get enough Z's. So, in passing with our students, I have often a lot of conversations with them, because I'll take notice that, hey, you look a little tired today. And they'll say, oh, Miss Smith, I was up on my phone last night. And I clutch my pearls and I say, on your phone? Making sure that we have a turn off, right, with electronic devices. I've spoken to some parents, and a good rule of thumb is telling them, hey, listen, electronic devices are in my bedroom by 9 o'clock because I want to ensure that you go to bed. Surprisingly enough, students will stay glued to their cell phones and television sets and video games up until the wee hours of the morning. And so to ensure that they have adequate sleep, sleep deprivation is real, and it has significant impacts on students when they don't have enough sleep. They are not able to focus. It's the last thing that's on their mind is doing a test, and then as a result, they perform poorly. So 8 to 10 hours of rest each night is imperative, and it's needed in order for them to be successful. And that's not just for testing, but that's every night. Every day that they come to school, they need to have rest. It just makes them more susceptible to receiving the education that we provide here. Encouraging your child to go into testing with the right attitude. This would be the time where you tell your child, best of luck on your test today, that you believe in them, that you know that they're going to do well. Not to have that conversation about the fact that they left their shoes in the middle of the living room and that you tripped on them. I know for me, I know with my son this week, he left to go for testing. There were some things I wanted to discuss, but I felt like it wasn't the right time. We would discuss it when he got home from school because he was going to school to test. And I really wanted him to have that positive attitude and be happy, and to divest of any stressors that he might have had going into school that day. So the conversation about the shoes didn't happen that morning, but it definitely took place in the afternoon when he returned home. So just making sure that we have that open door to high achievement, and that we also greet our children, with that happy attitude as we send them off to school. So just a few testing reminders. This here is a tentative schedule for testing that is going to be taking place. As I stated before, as you know, our April testing for writing has already taken place. We look forward to seeing students who did not assess with us this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, to join us tomorrow morning from 9 to 12. If they're 6th grade students, they will be taking a paper-based test. If they are 7th and 8th grade students, they will be taking a computer-based test in which they will need to bring their laptop, and it needs to be charged along with their charger just in case. But as far as mathematics, reading, civics, and science, along with Algebra 1 and geometry, those dates are here. If you all want, you can take a snapshot. Mrs. Fouché, our testing coordinator and assistant principal, we are working on postcards that we're going to be sending you once these dates are fully solidified, that you can put on your refrigerator and just post as a reminder that these are the dates for testing. But if you'd like, you can take a snapshot of those now. I would like to say that, as I stated before, these are tentative, so they are subject to possibly have some minor tweaks and changes. Obviously, that information will be shared with you immediately if any changes are made. But I do implore you all to bring your children to school if they are still working virtually at home, to bring them to school on the actual scheduled date that they are assessing. And if you are having concerns about having them do the mass testing at school, you can contact Mrs. Fouché and we can work out ways that we can have smaller setting or even one-on-one testing with your child. Our goal right now is to have 95% of our students assessed by the end of May. And so in order to do that, we really need your help with adhering to the schedule and making sure that the kids are ready and prepared. In addition to assessing, the next 4 weeks are all dedicated towards preparing our students for their assessments. That means that them coming to school regularly is important and imperative. Every classroom that you walk into right now, including electives, are all pushing best practices and strategies that we know work, whether it be for math, whether it be for reading, whether it be to support science, whether it be to support civics. We're all in practice mode right now. So the teachers are quickly reteaching with many lessons, and then they're turning it over and giving students autonomy to show what they know. And then again, coming back, giving them feedback, and then again, allowing them the opportunity to practice just so that we can get them ready, build the stamina for what we know is to come when they go into May testing. As you can see, our very first test in May takes place May 4th and 5th with 6th grade reading. That's the other half of that reading assessment because they took the writing half because it is a composite score. So, we don't have a lot of time. And so we also offer Saturday tutorials. So if you're interested, and, I know you all are doing things at home to support them, but another big way that you can really offer additional support to your children is to have them join us on Saturday mornings for our live brick and mortar and even virtual tutorials. Our staff, our teachers are so wonderful. They give up their Saturdays to really make sure that our kids don't skip a beat and that we have that opportunity to really remediate with them during that time period. So again, all assessments must be taken on campus. There are no unfortunately, the state has deemed it not okay for them to do it online. So they have to show up on campus in the building to take the assessment. Again, they have to arrive on time and they have to arrive on their designated day. Our biggest thing, parents, is making sure that the students come to school with their computers and that they're charged and that they're brought to school with them on the testing day. That's been our biggest thing. And just a reminder, I know that you all have received calls if you have 7th grade students, but they must have updated physicals on file to return to campus. That's one of the biggest things. And again, tutorials are from 9 to 12. We're asking that you all continue to monitor progress on SIS and communicate with teachers. And if you ever have any issues or concerns and you're not able to reach the teacher directly, feel free to reach out to the grade level administrator and guidance counselor because they are also available for you all to discuss any academic concerns that you may have. I will tell you that today starts our first day for teachers to put in grades for the 3rd quarter. So if you need to check in with your child, make sure that their grades are up to par. We are really, really pushing to make it to where our kids are not forced to go into middle school course recovery. If they fail a course, they have to go into course recovery. And I know that, we haven't actually said how testing is going to be viewed for next year. But we all know that even if they say school grades will not be calculated at the end of the year, the kids' assessments still matter. They're still going to matter in how they're being placed in classes. And that goes especially for our 8th grade students who are leaving us and going to high school. This is that opportunity, of course, as you know, for now that it really counts as far as them creating those, earning those high school credits and the GPA, because they are going to be college bound, and making sure that they are taking classes that are higher level classes. Students who perform poorly obviously will not be placed in certain classes once they get into high school. And even here, we offer a number of accelerated courses, but students have to meet the requirements. And so that is key and important for sure. I saw that there was a question regarding geometry. Currently, geometry is scheduled for June 2nd and 3rd. We have geometry scheduled for June 2nd and 3rd. It's smaller. Okay, any questions? I'm going to go into the chat right now because I do see that we have a number of questions inside of the chat. I hope that this information was helpful to you all and kind of gives you a better idea and understanding of our testing protocols, things that you can do with your children at home to help prepare them for these upcoming assessments. And then, of course, ways that you can reach out to us if you do have further questions after this presentation. So I'm going to go and check the chat. I do see, let's see here. Okay, so Fatima, I believe I answered your question regarding geometry. So you know that June 2nd and 3rd, those are our tentative dates. And I will tell you for classes like Algebra 1 and geometry, the math team, they conduct boot camps with the students. And I also know civics and science does the same thing, where they are going to be providing students additional support after school and or Saturday to where they can come in and they get that practice right before the assessment. And they do that whole group, and it will be offered virtually as well. 6th graders do not take science and or history assessments. So for my young ones, my 6th grade babies, their focus this year is solely on the ELA reading, writing, and reading portion. And then they take the mathematics test as well. So those are the only assessments that they are required to take this year and that they are taking this year. And again, like we stated before, 7th grade, as you know, they take the same, but they add on civics. And then 8th grade, they take the reading, writing, and mathematics along with science. So that's how we scaffold the testing. Great question. Thank you for that. Do we have any other questions? Anyone need to unmute if there was something that you wanted to share? Correct, exactly. So sixth graders, there are no computers for testing. Their testing is all paper-based, whereas seventh and eighth grade students assess only on the computers. It's a computer-based test for them. And so that's some of the things that we've taken in consideration. Will some of the virtual classes be canceled due to brick and mortar and teachers helping with FSA? We will not cancel any assessments. Our testing assistant principal over testing, Ms. Fouché, she's been really wonderful to make sure that our school day, if you're not being assessed, that your teachers are not being pulled to cover for testing. So we try to maintain a very smooth day that doesn't really disrupt learning in other areas on our campus, and that the students who are being assessed, those are the only ones, and those teachers who cover those assessed students are the only ones proctoring and administering the assessments. So there won't be any disruption. So the kids will be expected to come to school each day. So there's no sixth grade civics test. So the question was when is the sixth grade civics test? There's no sixth grade civics test. There's a seventh grade civics test. And for seventh grade, their civics test is on June 2nd, tentatively. Could you please tell me drop and pick up timing on the day of assessments for virtual students? Yes, ma'am. So we test the students in the morning. So as soon as they come in at 9:30, we dismiss them to go to their testing location. Okay, I understood. No worries. Thank you. So we have them go to their testing location and they assess from 9:30, and we usually have pickup time is at noon. Now this week we learned that we were running a little bit behind, so it happened around 1 o'clock. But one of the things that we're going to put in place is that if you are dropping off your child, you'll receive a phone call from the school if we need to prolong that for additional time, anywhere between an hour. So maybe between 12 and 1 would be pickup time. But generally we're done at noon. I hope that kind of answered your question regarding pickup. And that's done at the front of the school. We separate our brick and mortar students from our virtual students. So virtual students, this time they were tested inside of our cafeteria, whereas our brick and mortar students, they were assessed inside of our gymnasium. And we have it set up to where they are spread out and they are social distanced. And we wipe down the areas to ensure safety. All right, so the next question was, after tomorrow's testing, sixth grade, another FSA test coming up, or is that just the one? So yes, so tomorrow is the makeup. So if they were not here for sixth grade on Tuesday to take the writing FSA, then they can come tomorrow from 9 to 12. I will be here as well with the other testing administrators, and they can take the makeup for that. But if they did take it, they will not come back to school until May, and they would be coming during those dates that I shared with you. Did that answer your question? Okay, perfect. Excellent. Thank you. Was there anything else that you all had questions or concerns regarding? I cannot thank you all enough for joining in this morning. I think that we're really trying to find ways that our families can, quickly have access to us and get information. So I'm glad that you all were able to join us for the coffee talk. One more question. Are the virtual classes, let me see, going as usual on the day of the assessment, after the assessment? So it's after the assessment. So for example, because the kids have to come to school for the assessment, if they don't come, they will not have virtual classes because technically their grade level is assessing that day, and technically they're supposed to be on campus assessing. So for example, this week, sixth grade students were brought down to take the writing assessment. Sixth grade students who were virtual came on campus to take their writing assessment. And any student who did not have class between the hours of 9:30 to about 1:30 because their grade level was assessing. So during that time period, there is no class for a student who is not testing. But remember, I'm asking that you all adhere to our testing schedule and that you bring them the day of, which is why we're really trying to get this information to you all early so that you can make plans for that drop off and pickup if your child's not, attending school on campus, brick and mortar. Just because, again, our goal is to have students assessed at 95%. So we really need all of our kids to be here to really know what it is that they do know and what they don't know. And, to really be able to make some really informed decisions on our children as they progress from grade level to grade level. So we are trying to push for that. So thank you. I'm glad you felt that this was a great way to meet. And I'm glad that you're finding the information shared today during our presentation helpful. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that feedback. Families, I am going to ask, I do have, yes, civics test is only one day, and as well as the science test is only one day as well. Good question. Those are all one-day assessments. The ELA and math, those are the reading and math tests. Those are the 2-day assessments. Everyone else, they get one day to do their assessments. Great questions. Excellent. Thank you. So one of the things I wanted to do really quickly is to share with you all here, I'll do it on this one. I have a quick parent training survey that I'm going to share in the chat, the link. And I would really appreciate if you all would fill that out. And it's just for today's training, just a little feedback. I'm really happy that you all felt that meeting this way was beneficial. I look forward to having more coffee talks with you all regarding ways that we can best support our students and your children. They're so lovely. And I have to tell you, I've really enjoyed seeing their faces when they come in for testing, because especially the sixth graders, because I have not had the opportunity to meet them face to face. It's only been on their little screens and their little faces. So it's been such a joy seeing them in real life, if you will. And so that's been really great. And I think they also enjoy being able to come on campus and see us too. So I have posted the link, and you can just click on that, and that'll take you to a very quick survey for today. And if you all have no further questions, I'm not going to keep you. I know you all have a lot to do today, but again, thank you so much for joining, and have a fabulous weekend. And again, if your students need to come in to do the makeup writing, I will be here tomorrow from 9 to noon. They will need to arrive at 9 o'clock. And they can come in and they can take the makeup writing assessment. And that's in all 3 grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. All right. So please fill out that survey. You're welcome. Thanks again for joining. Thank you. Thank you. You all have a great day. Enjoy.
Thank you for having us, and thanks for all the information.
You're welcome, Ms. Robinson. Thank you for joining. I can always count on you. Thank you.
I always try to be here.
I know. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Just keep an eye on Degario for me. He's in 6th grade.
I shall.
Okay, then have a good one and be safe.
You as well. Thank you.
Hi, Miss Smith.
Hi.
Miss Smith, when I called last time the school for the FSA test schedule, they said that 8th grade geometry will be take May 11 and 12.
They said May 11th and 12th?
Yes, and you said it will be May 26th and 27. Which one is it?
I have for algebra.
Yes, algebra.
For algebra 1?
No, it's for geometry. Ryan is in geometry.
Yeah,
So
they moved geometry. Geometry I had on here. Now that's why I said it's tentative, and the testing coordinator
it's
made
June 2nd and 3rd. Sorry.
right June 2nd and 3rd because they were trying to give them a late date to take that. That
So
way they
it's
had more
not
time.
11, 12. It's June 2nd and 3rd, right?
Yes.
And science will be May 20.
Science is yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because they said it's May 26. So I just see the date changing.
Yes. So we met regarding the testing dates about 2 weeks ago. So some of it has changed. That's why I said it's tentative. And a lot of it is changing based on the number of students that we have to do makeups with. So what we're trying to do is, that's why I was saying, please bring them on the date that they have the test, because our goal is to give them enough time to prepare them for the assessment. But if the kids aren't coming in on the date that the test is given, that means that we don't have a lot of time to do the makeups. So we're really trying to adhere to our schedule. But if the kids aren't coming in, that means we need more time for makeups than we anticipated. So those are the dates that I currently have right now.
Okay. Thank
like
you.
I said, if anything changes on this for whatever reason, you all will get a mass email with the new dates, and I'm sending out postcards home to you all with the dates, and that way you can put it on your refrigerator.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Miss
Hi.
Smith.
Hi.
I'm very glad to see you here. Actually, I'm getting the needed information while I'm working. That's great, actually.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you were able to multitask.
Yeah, I have a question, but just don't mind if it's little off topic.
No worries.
My daughter Venkata, she's in grade 6,
Yep.
and I'm happy she's doing good. And although she's working virtually, she's enjoying it. I'm happy for that. I just wanted to know, couple of weeks back she had a change with her math teacher. Of course, I have no complaints. She is enjoying both the math. She's liking like math teachers. I wanted to know any reason for that.
That her math teacher changed. I have to take a
Yeah.
look at her. If you stay on with me, I'll go in and I'll take a look.
Yeah, sure.
I'll go in and take a look, because that would have been a change made by her guidance counselor. So I'll go in
Yeah.
and check for you. Does anyone else have any questions for me?
Mrs. Smith,
Yes, ma'am.
can tomorrow Abdul go to the campus for makeup test?
Did he came for the writing test though?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to come on Saturday for the makeup. No, that's totally fine.
So when 2 weeks ago, when I go to the school for the FSA test schedule, so they give me a civic test April 25th. So I saw now civic test is a June 2nd.
Yes, that's the tentative date that we have now.
So is it sense?
Right. So these are tentative dates and they might change. We're going to email you all with the dates, the actual dates for this, because you're saying April 25th, but I don't have anything scheduled for April. So I think that was an old date that they shared.
Okay, now is the correct date is June 2nd for civic?
It's still tentative. It's not in stone, so don't mark me on it. We're meeting to solidify, because what we're seeing is that we have a lot of kids that still have to do a lot of makeups. So we might have to push some of our original test dates up. That way we have enough time to do makeups on the back end. You know what I mean? Because we have to hit 95%. Yes, I'll send the survey link again. There you go. So just let me. We're gonna when you get an email with an actual a testing calendar, those will be the specific dates. These are just tentative dates that I have right now. They're not set in stone.
Okay, can you send me email, please?
Yes, of course. Everyone will get it. It'll be school wide.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let me see. Miss Swathi, can you spell her last name for me?
Yeah. It's Musti, Musti.
Thank you. Okay, so she still has Miss McLean.
Oh,
So
is it? Okay.
yeah, it still shows Miss McLean. What happened was Miss McLean had. It's not that they have a new teacher. They've been going in with the other sixth grade math teacher because Miss McLean had to go upstairs to cover for a algebra class.
Oh,
So
got
that's
it.
what that was. So it wasn't that it was switched. Because I'm thinking,
Okay then.
why would we switch her in the middle? Towards the end of the year in her math class. But I see that's what it is. She has Miss McLean, and Miss McLean is doing double duty right now with covering for algebra because the
Oh,
teacher
that's
has
good.
been out.
Okay, okay. And math textbook, actually the one which we got at the beginning of the year, it says it's volume 1 and it covers up to chapter 6. And do we get any volume 2 sign kind of thing?
No, so right now they're out of the book. So because they're done teaching all of their EE standards. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no other book that she needs to receive from us.
Oh, okay, okay. So then she'll just follow the classes and yeah, do it
With the
like
curriculum that her teacher's using now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
So
right
as
now they're like
compared
in practice mode because now they're going back over all those standards again.
got it, yeah, got it. And is this third quarter going on or fourth quarter just started?
So we're still in the third quarter technically, and then grades officially go in on the 16th of April. So right, we're at the end of it. So that's why I was saying, like, and I made a speech to the kids this morning as I was walking around, letting them know, like, if you have any additional work that you need to submit, now's the time to do it. because grades can start, technically a teacher can start posting their grades as of today. So
Okay.
I want the kids to make sure that they are really, taking advantage of getting work turned in before the end of the quarter.
Okay, okay. So is there going to be the honor roll for this quarter too?
Yes.
Actually, my daughter is eagerly waiting for that as she scored all A's till now.
Yay! That's awesome. That's really awesome. I was so happy to see her for writing when she came in.
Oh, really?
I was
She was
happy.
happy to see her scoring
Yeah,
good
your
as well.
husband dropped
Yeah.
her off, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're here!" She's like, "Yes."
Okay, thanks a lot,
So
Smith.
that was a joy.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Miss Smith. Yeah,
You're welcome. Have a good one.
yeah. Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Hi, Miss Smith.
Hi, Miss Paul. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How's everything?
All is well. I'm happy that you were able to join, even if it
Ye-
was late. It's
I
okay.
know I'm at work. I was,
I know. I
I,
know.
I was with the lady. I couldn't log in exactly at the 10 o'clock. So
It's okay. No worries. So just
that,
to fill you in, I can fill you in. No worries.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we were basically talking about our upcoming assessments. And I'm going to share this PowerPoint with you because there's hyperlinks in it that you can go in and check out, resources that you can use at home. And so, just the main thing was making sure that the kids come to school on the day that they're being assessed on their testing day.
Yeah.
We ask that the kids come in around 9, and then pick up is around noon. Now this time we ran a little over because
Yeah, I told my husband to pick up 12:30 to give you
yep,
guys time.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Did they have anything next week?
Nothing next week. So we're good. 6th grade, the next assessment will be in May 4th and 5th.
May 4th and 5th. Okay.
That's going to be the reading portion that they have.
Okay.
And so and that's a 2-day session.
4th and 5th. Okay. Yeah. I'll check everything out after the meeting. I'll check everything out and see what needs to be done.
Yes, please.
I don't know if you can check that out for me while you're here. I guess last week or couple weeks, we've been having trouble with the internet at home.
Oh.
So sometimes he's in class and the internet drop. So they mark, I guess some of the classes they mark him absent. And last week I had the trouble. I have to call the school because there was no teacher. He went to the class, there was no teacher there. I didn't know they were doing something at the school. So those kind of time, I don't like him to be marked absent.
Right.
Because it's not him.
It's not.
He signed into the club, but there was no teacher there.
Right. I think that was probably last Thursday when they had that field day.
Yeah, they have some things going on because I have to text Miss McLean. She always helpful to answer my question, and I asked her what's going on. Nobody's there. He said, "Oh my God, if they're not here." So I'm like, I don't want him to get, marked absent or stuff like that. He's always in class.
No, I understand.
I don't know how many absent he have now because I have to check it again because he told me he did, so he was absent, but I know he never absent.
Right.
It's either my internet is giving me trouble or there's no teacher. Especially in this class, what's the name of the teacher? We do.
Okay, the culinary class.
Yeah. A lot of time the teacher's not there.
Okay. Right.
So I guess we should know if the teacher's not going to be there, let us know. So if you log in, nobody's there. So I don't have to worry.
Right. And I
He's
don't want
to get absent for that period.
Right. I don't want him getting marked for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Miss Bolden, his guidance counselor, take a look at it so that she can clean up his attendance.
Yeah, because he always there. Unless I have trouble with my internet, which is I did. I've been having trouble with it. They finally come in and fix it. We'll see what happened.
Right. Okay. All right. I'll have Miss Bolden take a look at it, and then she can go ahead and make those corrections. And you said,
all right, baby. Thank you very much.
You said it was mainly with Miss Redu's class?
Sometimes it's the last two.
Okay.
I don't think he never missed any Miss Marklin or the first period class. It's always the last two. I'm having trouble with
Okay.
the last 2 period.
Okay. Perfect.
Because if it's not gonna be here, because he's in a process for his teeth, every 2 months he goes to the orthodontic. I always email the teachers and let them know, excuse him, please. He's not gonna be,
Right.
And if he came back from the doctor's early, I always say, go back and log in. Go back to school if you have time. Don't waste it. But yeah, with this 2 period, I'm always having trouble with that too.
Okay. All right. Well, no worries. I will get that taken care of for you.
Okay.
I don't want him marked absent for that.
Okay.
I don't want him marked absent for that either. So I have tentative dates for testing. Some of them are subject to change. And the reason being is because we have to have 95% of our students tested.
Okay.
And so initially we spread it out, but now we're seeing that because we have a lot of kids who are not on campus that have to do makeups, we're going to have to shift it so where we're having the tests earlier than what we wanted to give us enough makeup time to get 95% of the kids tested, if that makes sense. So we've had to play around with some of those dates and not test as late as we would want to, because of course, if we test later, that gives us more time to prep the kids.
Yes.
But if they're not coming in to test, that means we have to start calling and asking parents to bring them, and that takes time.
Okay.
But thank you for bringing him. I'm always so happy to see him.
Yeah. I'm crossing fingers so next year he can come to campus.
Yes, please.
We can get this vaccine over with, for Christ's sake.
I know.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I know.
I can't wait for them to have their own vaccine so they can get vaccinated and then we can get this going on, because I love when they go to campus,
Yeah,
they can interact with other kids, but with this virus,
it's scary.
I'm afraid because I only have one kid.
Yeah. I know, and you want to make sure your baby's safe. I get it. I know. Yes, ma'am.
That's why even when I drop him off for tests, I say you have to wear 2 masks now, 2.
Yeah.
And keep them on all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's on for May 4th and May 5th now.
Yes.
All right, baby. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me.
I hope we can see each other next year.
I know. I want to give you a hug.
Yeah, all this.
Yes, absolutely.
I can get involved more because with this year I can't.
I know.
But maybe next year we all can get involved more, know each other more.
Yes, that's what I'm praying for.
Me too. Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too, sweetheart. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this call. I thank you all again for joining. Have a wonderful weekend.